Hey there, folks. Name's Jessica, and let me tell you about the wild ride I had with my in-laws. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Been around for a good while, but this story, well, it's got more twists and turns than a roller coaster. So picture this. Me, happily married to my guy, Alex. We're both workaholics, love our jobs to bits. And yeah, we made a conscious decision not to dive into the whole parenting thing. It's just not our jam. Anyway, everything's cruising along until we hit the annual family vacation. Now, I don't mind the idea, but there's one small detail. My mother-in-law, let's call her Linda. Linda can't stand the fact that I'm not popping out grandkids. We had this epic family meeting where I laid it out that kids weren't on the agenda. Alex's dad, let's call him Robert, was cool about it, but Linda? Oh boy, she flew off the handle. Started spouting off about how women should quit their jobs and all that outdated nonsense. Robert, bless his heart, stood up for me. Cue a heated argument. Fast forward to the day of the trip. Linda's still holding a grudge, and the vibe is as frosty as the Arctic. We get to the hotel, and lo and behold, my reservation magically disappears. Linda's got this smug smile, telling me I'm not family, so no room for me. Turns out, she cancelled it. Classy move, right? So, we pack up, head back, and that's when the real drama begins. Linda decides to move in with us, claiming she's done with Robert. I call up Alex, he's at work, and Linda's parked on my couch, complaining about everything, the house, my job, you name it. Fast forward to the credit card debacle. Linda's turned my home upside down, and surprise, surprise, my credit card goes missing. I smell a rat. Alex and I confront her, turns out she lifted it. We decide to play it cool, gather evidence, and boy, did we hit the jackpot. Luxury shopping sprees, the whole shebang. Now, picture this scene. Alex gets through to his dad, Robert, who's been MIA. We're ready to drop the bomb on Linda. We've got proof, divorce papers, and a front row seat to the fireworks. Robert walks in, drops the divorce papers on Linda. She's shocked, but we're not done. We show her the evidence, the credit card escapades. She tries to play innocent, but we've got timestamps, photos, the whole enchilada. Next thing you know, Linda's on the defensive, claiming the photos are fake. I'm a journalist, though. Collecting evidence is my specialty. She can't escape the truth. We even throw in the threat of involving the police if she doesn't cooperate. As we're wrapping up this showdown, Linda's face turns beet red. I hit her with a reminder of her earlier comment, that I'm not family. She bolts, and in the chaos, poor Robert takes a spill. He's fine, but Linda's caught, and we're left wondering what her next move will be. Fast forward again, and here we are, living harmoniously without Linda's drama. Robert's helping out, giving us some golden advice. But we're ready for anything. If his health takes a nosedive, we've got his back. And that, my friends, is just the tip of the iceberg. Who knew family vacations could be this entertaining? Days roll by, and without Linda's storm cloud hanging over us, life settles into a peaceful rhythm. Robert's a gem, hitching in around the house and sharing his wealth of experience. It's a relief for both Alex and me, knowing we can rely on him. But you know, life always has a way of throwing curveballs. One day, I get a call from Linda. Yep, she's still out there, stirring up trouble. Turns out she's moved in with her sister and brother-in-law, desperate for financial help. Apparently, her sister's family runs a business, and they reluctantly lent her some money. Now we've got Robert living with us, and we're concerned about leaving him alone. His back issues might act up, and we don't want him straining himself. But hey, he's been a trooper, offering advice, sharing stories, and bringing a sense of stability. As for Linda, well, she's working like a horse to pay back the money she borrowed. It's a poetic twist, considering her previous disdain for work. Karma's a funny thing, isn't it? Still, we've got our guard up, knowing Linda's unpredictable. Life carries on, but it's not all smooth sailing. Alex and I juggle work, home, and keeping an eye on Robert's health. We're a team, though, navigating the waves together. The specter of Linda's actions still lingers, a reminder of how family dynamics can take unexpected turns. Then comes a day when Linda reappears on the scene. Uninvited, of course. The doorbell rings, and there she stands, bags and towel, wearing a smirk that could rival the Cheshire Cat. Guess who's done living with her husband? She declares, barging into our living room like she owns the place. I'm dumbfounded, unsure how to process this latest development. Linda's intrusion interrupts the tranquility we've worked hard to establish. I dial up Alex at work, trying to keep my cool. Hey, sorry to bother you, but your mom just showed up here. His disbelief mirrors my own, and he attempts to call his dad, who conveniently doesn't answer. In the meantime, Linda makes herself at home, criticizing everything from the state of our house to my choice of career. What a filthy house. It's all because you work, Emily. Being under the same roof with you is unbearable. Samuel really needs to divorce you soon, she mutters incessantly. I take a deep breath, resigned to her antics. As I go about my routine, she never stops badgering me, filling the air with her toxic commentary. Samuel arrives home early that day, walking into a scene that screams tension. The state of the house triggers a heated argument between him and Linda. I pull Samuel aside, whispering that my credit card is missing. He's exasperated but determined. We can't let her get away with this. She needs to face the consequences. I nod in agreement, and we decide to make Linda pay for her actions. Days pass, and Samuel manages to get through to his previously unresponsive father. Upon Robert's return, he finds a note from Linda on the table, stating she's still mad about being left behind during the trip. Samuel and I adjust our work schedules to be home when Robert arrives. Mother-in-law, casual as ever, greets us with an "Oh, you're home early," but her expression changes when she sees Robert. What? Why are you here? Did you come to get me? Robert, calm and collected, hands her filled-out divorce papers. She's visibly shocked, exclaiming, "Your selfish behavior has only escalated over the years, especially your treatment towards Emily. Why can't you accept the woman your son chose? I've reached my limit. I want a divorce." Fine, let's get a divorce. I have Samuel, so I don't need you. Emily, bring me a pen. You're so useless, she snaps. I hand her the pen, annoyed but determined to get through this ordeal. As she signs the divorce papers, I decide it's time to reveal the trump card we've been holding on to. I open my laptop, and on the screen is a video of Linda shopping. I'm going to zoom in, I tell her as I enlarge the image. In her hand is the illustrated credit card, the one she claimed was hers. That credit card isn't yours, is it? I ask, already knowing the answer. Well, it's mine. You don't have a credit card, she retorts, attempting to save face. But we've done our homework. Samuel points out that the card is a limited edition, only available during a special collaboration. It's a collector's item, and I've kept it tucked away safely. Linda, caught in her own web of lies, starts making outrageous claims. The photo is fake. Who would even take such a picture? Someone just fabricated this. I'm innocent. I took that photo, I state matter-of-factly. As I've told you before, I'm a journalist. I work as a journalist capable of tailing people and collecting photographic evidence if needed. Linda, realizing she's backed into a corner, shoves Robert aside and makes a run for it. As Samuel and I check on Robert, who's fallen during the chaos, we decide it's time to take legal action. We contact a lawyer and initiate the process to cut ties with Linda, including claims for damages and medical expenses. Later, we hear that Linda has moved in with her estranged sister and brother-in-law to borrow money. Despite the financial strain, we're relieved to be free of her toxic presence. Living with Robert, we form a united front, ready to face whatever challenges come our way. The following days are a whirlwind of legal consultations, paperwork, and preparing for the inevitable showdown with Linda. Samuel and I gather evidence meticulously, ensuring our case against her is rock solid. We're determined to hold her accountable for the chaos she brought into our lives. As we delve deeper into the legal proceedings, we discover the extent of Linda's deceit. It turns out she has a history of financial manipulation and has left a trail of strained relationships in her wake. The lawyer advises us on the best course of action, and we're ready for the upcoming legal battle. Days turn into weeks, and the tension in the air is palpable. Linda, aware of the impending legal consequences, remains unrepentant. She continues her attempts to manipulate the situation, trying to garner sympathy from anyone who would listen. Meanwhile, Robert is recovering from his fall, and we're grateful that his injuries weren't severe. His resilience impresses us, and together, we form a united front against Linda's attempts to disrupt our lives further. The day of the legal confrontation arrives. Linda, flanked by her lawyer, wears a defiant expression. Samuel and I, accompanied by our attorney, sit across from her. The courtroom becomes a stage for the final act of this family drama. The proceedings unfold, and as evidence is presented, Linda's facade crumbles. The photos, timestamps, and transaction history paint a damning picture of her actions. She squirms uncomfortably in her seat, realizing that her elaborate charade is unraveling. Our lawyer skillfully dismantles Linda's defense, exposing the inconsistencies in her statements. It becomes evident to everyone in the courtroom that Linda's claims of innocence are nothing more than a desperate attempt to escape accountability. As the legal battle reaches its climax, Linda's true nature is laid bare for all to see. The judge, unimpressed by her antics, delivers a stern reprimand. Linda is ordered to compensate for damages, medical expenses, and the emotional distress she caused. The courtroom empties, and we're left with a mix of relief and exhaustion. The legal victory is bittersweet, as the scars of the ordeal run deep. Linda, now legally severed from our lives, sulks away with the weight of her actions on her shoulders. Life slowly returns to a semblance of normalcy. Samuel, Robert, and I rebuild the bonds that were strained during the tumultuous events. The wounds begin to heal, and we find solace in the newfound peace that accompanies Linda's absence. But the story doesn't end here. The repercussions of Linda's actions linger, a constant reminder of the fragility of family ties. As we navigate the aftermath, we're reminded that sometimes the most challenging battles are the ones fought within the confines of our own relationships. Months pass, and the echoes of the legal battle slowly fade into the background. Life settles into a more serene rhythm, and the scars left by Linda's actions begin to heal. Samuel, Robert, and I find solace in the quiet moments, appreciating the simplicity of shared dinners and laughter that replaces the tension once prevalent in our home. Robert's health improves steadily, a testament to his resilience. His presence becomes a source of comfort and wisdom, and we relish the calm stability he brings to our lives. Together, we rediscover the joy of family, rebuilt on the foundations of trust and support. As we navigate this new chapter, Samuel and I decide to focus on the positive aspects of our lives. We channel our energy into our careers, cherishing the sense of accomplishment that comes with each professional milestone. The dark cloud that was Linda's influence has dissipated, allowing us to breathe freely and pursue our dreams without the weight of constant turmoil. However, life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. One day, as we're enjoying a quiet evening at home, the doorbell rings. An unexpected visitor stands at the threshold. It's Linda, looking a bit worn down, a stark contrast to the defiant woman we last saw in the courtroom. "I need to talk," she says, her tone carrying a hint of humility. We exchange glances, unsure of what to make of this unexpected turn of events. Reluctantly, we invite her in, and as she sits on the couch, a vulnerability seeps through her once unyielding exterior. Linda begins to recount her journey since our paths diverged. She speaks of the challenges she faced, the consequences of her actions catching up with her. Her once comfortable life unraveled, and the financial burden she now carries weighs heavily on her. As she shares her story, a complex mix of emotions swirls within me: empathy, skepticism, and a tinge of sympathy. I look at Samuel, and I can sense his inner struggle, torn between the memories of the tumultuous past and the sight of his mother in her current vulnerable state. Linda's narrative unfolds like a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the consequences of one's choices. She expresses regret for the pain she caused and the relationships she damaged. It's a stark contrast to the woman who once arrogantly dismissed the notion of family bonds. In the midst of her confession, Linda makes an unexpected revelation. She's seeking help and undergoing therapy to address the underlying issues that fueled her destructive behavior. It's a glimmer of hope in an otherwise somber conversation, a sign that perhaps people can change. As the evening unfolds, we find ourselves engaged in a conversation that transcends the boundaries of resentment and anger. Linda's vulnerability bridges the gap between us, opening the door to the possibility of reconciliation. Yet, trust, once shattered, isn't easily rebuilt. The night ends with a tentative truce, an agreement to explore the potential for a healthier, more constructive relationship. Linda leaves with a promise to continue her journey towards self-improvement, and we're left to grapple with the complexity of forgiveness and the uncertainty of the future. Weeks pass since Linda's unexpected visit, and the atmosphere in our home remains a delicate balance between cautious optimism and lingering skepticism. As much as we want to believe in the possibility of redemption, the scars of the past still influence our perceptions. Linda, true to her word, continues therapy, a step towards addressing the deep-rooted issues that fueled her destructive behavior. She occasionally reaches out, sharing snippets of her progress and expressing a sincere desire for reconciliation. Each interaction, however, is met with a mixture of hope and wariness on our part. The dynamics within our family undergo a subtle shift. Samuel, grappling with conflicting emotions, finds himself torn between the desire to forgive and the need to protect himself from potential disappointment. Robert, ever the optimist, cautiously welcomes the prospect of healing, recognizing the importance of family bonds. Despite the tentative steps towards reconciliation, trust remains elusive. Linda's past actions have left an indelible mark on our family, and the wounds, though healing, are still raw. We engage in family therapy sessions, attempting to navigate the complex web of emotions that bind us together. As Linda delves deeper into her self-improvement journey, she unveils the layers of her past, addressing the insecurities and traumas that shaped her behavior. It's a process of self-discovery and introspection, and we witness glimpses of genuine remorse in her eyes. Yet, forgiveness is a multifaceted journey, and its pace is dictated by the willingness of all parties involved. Samuel, though cautious, starts to acknowledge the potential for change in his mother. The conversations become more open, and the walls that once separated us begin to crumble. The turning point comes during a family gathering, a carefully orchestrated attempt to bridge the gaps that time and hurt have created. Linda, visibly nervous, extends a heartfelt apology, acknowledging the pain she inflicted upon our family. Her vulnerability resonates, and for the first time, we see a glimmer of the woman she could become. In that moment, we collectively decide to embrace the possibility of a new chapter. It's not a clean slate. The past will always be a part of our story, but it's a commitment to move forward with open hearts and a shared understanding that growth is a continuous process. As the seasons change, so do the dynamics within our family. Linda's transformation, though gradual, is evident. She becomes an active participant in rebuilding what was once broken. Acts of kindness replace the animosity, and shared laughter replaces the tension that once defined our interactions. The journey towards reconciliation is marked by both triumphs and setbacks. There are days when the weight of history threatens to pull us back into familiar patterns, but the newfound resilience within our family allows us to weather the storms. And so the story continues, a narrative of healing, forgiveness, and the complexities of familial bonds. As we navigate this uncharted terrain, we acknowledge that the journey towards redemption is ongoing, and the true test lies in our collective commitment to growth, understanding, and the unwavering belief that even fractured relationships can find a path towards renewal.